People are always going to talk, and sometimes you got to really listen if you really want to understand. Hello, everyone. This is Dwight Woods, the Jeet Kune Rebel. Welcome to the I Love Jeet Kune broadcast number 240. This is the one about Jeet Kune Witless, white lies, and hapless half truths. As you're logging in, if you'd be kind enough to say where you're logging in from, hit the like button and feel free to continue doing so throughout the broadcast. If you're catching the simulcast over on the YouTube, please be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell as well. If you enjoy my work and you'd like to support the program, please visit jkdrebel.com, click on the Rebel Gear link, and that's where you'll see stuff like this, the JKD Notables coffee mug, t-shirt, sweatshirt, long sleeve, short sleeve, hoodie, all that good stuff. But of course, the best thing you can do is to share this video and spread the word about the I Love Jeet Kune broadcast. All right. So over the decades, so much has been said about Bruce Lee and about Jeet Kune, and that means that people are free to interpret anything in any way that they see fit. And with technological advances, just about anyone with a well thought out idea can transmit that idea essentially around the world, but so too can someone with a ridiculous idea. And when or if that ridiculous idea catches on and becomes viral, then we have a whole new set of problems. So one way to counter that is with knowledge and understanding. Knowledge, for example, that JKD is a thing that came along as a result of a lot of questioning, a lot of theorizing, a lot of evolving, a lot of development. And so, for example, as JKD came along, new approaches to martial art training, for example, things like hitting the heavy bag, using focus mitts, developing the kick shield, thinking like a fencer plus boxer plus Wing Chun man, while checking out how other arts may have used their legs and knees and elbows, all of that in the interest of developing what we would call totality. Because of his chosen lifestyle, Bruce Lee had more time than anybody else, more time than his followers, more time than his peers, I imagine, to train like a professional athlete. So that fact, plus his natural talent, resulted in a performance level which was viewed by some as, let's say, almost superhuman, right? So that was expressed at different times as only Bruce Lee could do certain things, right? Unfortunately, that expression has been misinterpreted to mean that if you can't do certain things at like a Bruce Lee level or close to a Bruce Lee level, or not even close to a Bruce Lee level, or if you can't even do something at all, then those things are Bruce Lee's Jeet Kune, not yours, not anyone else's, and maybe not even Jeet Kune on the whole, because that's Bruce Lee stuff. Because the statement made is only Bruce Lee could do certain things. Okay? All right. When Bruce Lee started teaching martial arts in the United States, he taught essentially what he knew, which was more Wing Chun than anything else, but along with a smattering of techniques from other Chinese systems. And then as he developed even further, there was like some judo or what have you thrown in there, right? That was referred to, my understanding, is modified Wing Chun. I imagine because he didn't want to continue calling it Wing Chun since it didn't look exactly like what he had been taught. And so modified Wing Chun became a term. When he formally opened schools, first in Seattle, then Oakland, then LA, those schools were called the Jun Fun Gongfu Institute, right? Essentially the place where Bruce Lee teaches martial art. But after a period of time, that term Jun Fun Gongfu became applied to what was being taught, aka the Jun Fun method. So that occurred before the ultimate term, Jeet Kune, was coined as the name for Bruce Lee's art. So we had 3 distinct periods, 3 stages of evolution. And so accordingly, you'll know that there were 3 different certificates, right? There was the Jun Fun Gongfu Institute certificate. So if you were a member, you got that certificate. There was the Tao of Chinese Kung Fu. That was a certificate which I believe was given to people who had been privately trained. And then there was the Jeet Kune certificate, which may or may not have been for people who were privately trained as well, right? So 3 distinct periods in the evolution, 3 names, 3 certificates. And so some people have expressed all of that as 3 separate arts. Now, the problem is that when it was expressed that way, they didn't also point out that they were not saying 3 separate arts existed at the same time. You see? Instead, they should have gone on to say that at one point it was called this, at another point it was called that, at another point it was called that. Here are 3 certificates in those 3 things. The way it came out is that there were 3 separate arts taught by Bruce Lee all at the same time, which is not true, right? As we're talking about certificates, in I think it was 1988, when there was an attempt to kind of like formalize ranking in the Jeet Kune world. It was realized that everybody who had been put in charge of a Jun Fun Gongfu Institute training group had been assigned 3rd rank. And so 3rd rank was listed as the initial instructor rank. That was not set up. That it wasn't set up that way by Bruce Lee, right? That was just a coincidence. And so 3rd rank was the starting point, the jumping off point for instructorship. Because my understanding is that there were other people who had achieved 3rd rank. It's just that those people were never put in charge of anything, right? Bruce Lee once said, man, the living creature, the created individual, is always more important than any established style or system. So, should I say that again? The created individual is always more important than any established style or system. So keeping that in mind, some JKD instructors adopted the approach that what they would teach is like a general self-defense program. And they would use arts that had a proven record of fighting, competition, whether as self-defense stuff or competition. So things like Muay Thai, things like boxing, things like jiu-jitsu, arts that have a proven record. And you would train those things, and Jeet Kune principles would be the connecting thread in the training of those things. Does that make sense? Because the idea was the individual would develop his or her own ability. And so some people express that as you developing your own Jeet Kune, meaning that you were free to develop as yourself. You were free to develop as an individual rather than being forced to develop through an established style or system. So it was expressed as you develop your own Jeet Kune. again, the importance of the individual is expressed in Bruce Lee's statement. This is how I look at it. When Bruce Lee said about Jeet Kune Do that he was interested in Jeet Kune Do's effect of liberation when viewed or used as a mirror for self-examination. To me, that is talking once more about individual expression. I think that contributes to this idea. And again, this is another thing that is expressed less than 100% coherently. The idea that Jun Fun Gongfu is this established system, right? Or is this method which can be systematized, right? Whereas Jeet Kune Do cannot. So then you end up that, well, Jun Fun Gongfu is the prerequisite and separate and distinct from Jeet Kune Do, or Jun Fun Gongfu is the physical art, whereas Jeet Kune Do is the theoretical art or the philosophical art or what have you, as opposed to, like I said way in the beginning, 3 distinct stages: modified Wing Chun, Jun Fun Gongfu, Jeet Kune Do. Probably because in terms of specific things being given, there was a period, I'll say during the Jun Fun Gongfu period, there were specific things given. Here's what you should teach, as opposed to the Jeet Kune Do emphasis on freedom and experimentation. So now it's not so much, here are specific things that should be taught. Those things still exist, but perhaps the emphasis is not put on that anymore. So that ends up being expressed as, essentially, there used to be Jun Fun Gongfu, which was this fixed system. But think about it. The guy who said that the creating individual is more important than any established style or system is not going to be the same guy that says, okay, Jun Fun is this established system, but Jeet Kune Do is this other thing. Ain't gonna happen. It's just a matter of nomenclature, right? It's just a matter of expressing at different time periods. At one time, this term was used. At another time, this term was used. Doesn't make them separate and distinct or what have you. All right, so obviously, my apologies for starting an hour late. My apologies especially to my colleagues and good friends in the UK. I'm sure that it's too late for Mark Black and Terry Valor. Actually, let me give it the proper order. Terry Valor, Mark Black, and Mick Tully. They're probably fast asleep. So my apologies for starting out. I had a heck of a day, right? So that's my excuse. And I didn't get to all of the witless, white lies, and hapless half-truths that I wanted to get to. So I can't say if I will be able to broadcast next Wednesday because of the project that I'm involved with all of next week. If I can, I will do a part 2 of this. If not, it'll have to wait until the 24th, right? But on Friday, there will be another episode of the Jeet Kune Do Dialogues with Suleiman Sitin of Hybrid Combat in the UK. So that should be at 6 p.m. regular time. So check in for that. Today's a blue day. There you go, old school, right? So I'll see some of you on Friday for the dialogue with Suleiman, and then as soon as I can next week, if I will be able to do a broadcast, I'll set it up and I'll let you know. I'm pretty sure not pretty sure. There definitely will not be a Jeet Kune Do Dialogues next Friday, right? And when I can tell you more, I'll tell you more. All right, but that's it, okay? So let me know what you think in the comments below. That's all I got to say about this video. This is Dwight Woods, the Jeet Kune Do Rebel, signing off. You guys enjoy the rest of your evening. Stay safe. Talk soon. Take care.